Elevate TV, advancing kingdom lifestyle.
Hi, good evening viewers. My name is James Ireri. Thank you for joining us on this show, Man Unveiled. Today we'll be unpacking a couple of things, and I'm welcoming you to feel at home, listen to us and listen to our very able panelists here. We are very privileged to have two great gentlemen here that are going to propel this discussion, and it's going to be interesting. Welcome on board. I want us to immediately kick off, introduce yourself, and kick on the conversation.
Good evening, viewers. My name is Wanyoike. I'm one of the hosts of the Man Unveiled. And we are happy to have you today. We are glad that you've joined us on this particular show. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, gentlemen, thank you for having me.
Yes.
My name is Godfrey Gishoke, and I'm pleased to be here. And hopefully we'll have a very fruitful conversation.
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome on board, sir.
All right.
It will be a great and interesting moment to engage and talk about very passionate things. And I believe the reason for this program is to speak to those things that affect men and that can empower men, to bring them to a higher level so that they become productive in their lives. And today we have a very interesting topic. I think we mentioned in our previous shows about man the provider, a man as a protector, man as a priest. So today we're going to be dealing with man as a provider. Pastor Gigi, I want to engage you and bring you to speed. And you bring us to speed to the matter about man as a provider. What would you say a man's role? And how can a man become that, that person to lead the family in terms of providing for the family?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I believe that the man, the man is a provider. I think even by design, by calling, by every measure. I mean, you look at the way right from creation, man was placed in a garden. He was created first,
Yes.
and I think there is a reason for that. And the Bible is very clear. He was given a garden, and he was told to tend the garden.
Yes.
Even before the idea of him having a partner, a wife,
Yes.
came in, this guy already had very, very clear mandate,
Yes.
very well spelled out.
Yes.
So, and that beginning point, I think we really have to take that into account
Yes.
when we think about the role of men. Women roles are very clear.
Yes.
Women role, especially the idea of giving birth to children.
Yes.
It's so clear. There's no argument about it.
Yes.
But now the men, for them to really step into their purpose,
Yes.
they have to take up that role
Yes.
of being the provider, the protector. And I think that's the way the society is designed, that's the way family is designed.
Yes.
And it is when it operates within those parameters
Yes.
that you have results. So I think that's the foundation.
Wow. Anthony, what did you say?
I like the way Pastor Gigi has actually said, because he's saying, let's check from the very beginning. I know we've addressed this matter again
Yes.
in one of the shows here, that man is the foundation. And from the very beginning, when he was placed in the Garden of Eden, he had that role of, tend the garden. And if you look at it, it's very foundational. And that foundation, therefore, comes with the responsibility as a provider. And when I look at man from that beginning,
Yes.
where he is actually placed,
Yes.
he's supposed to have several areas of providing.
Yes.
One to himself, providing to his family, providing to his society, to the society, and also providing to the environment. Because as a co-creator, God, from the beginning at the Garden of Eden, basically says, take care of everything. The birds of the air, the fishes in the oceans, every single thing. So man has got so much to provide. I want to believe, James, maybe today what you want us to look at
Yes.
is him providing to the family,
Yes.
and maybe to the society around
Yes,
him.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much,
I'm in
Anthony.
agreement with
Yes, and as we are aware that the environment, the terrain in jobs have been a little bit wanting, and there's a high level of unemployment.
Yes.
Though that is not an excuse why men should not be a provider. And I think it's an encouraging moment to talk to men who are listening to us, to tell them there is hope. People should re-engineer themselves again and find opportunities. I think somebody said that you'd rather be prepared than not have an opportunity, but have an opportunity and you're not prepared, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And we should not, there's no excuse because you've not connected with a white-collar job. There's something you can do with yourself, isn't it? Literally, there is something you can find to do with your hands. Would you like to tell us some of the things that you would like and to encourage men to go into?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, before we even think about what men should go into, I think the problem needs to be, as you are defining it, we are faced currently with a crisis of some sort. I mean, jobs, a lot of people lost their jobs during this pandemic. And so there are people whose lives were seriously disrupted. You lose a job, your company closed down, and now you're back at home, and you still trying to find your place. That is a very painful place for a man to find themselves in. So I think, so that's the issue. That's where we are. So we have people who already have families who now are under extreme pressure to be able to provide for those families. And even if somebody is single, they have their families back at home and relatives. And you know, you cannot just be there as a man and nothing is coming out of you.
Yeah, it's true.
So I think that's the challenge. But to now address the issue you're saying, there's the question of where do you start? Where do you start? So I would like to maybe just begin this by saying, I think the first place to start is to look at yourself. I believe there are two ways. There are two things that need to be really aligned. An evaluation that looks at internal, where you are inside of you, and the environment. So I think where most men should begin, especially those who are now, you know, you've you're in a very, very dire situation. You're jobless, you have children, and things are not working. I think it's important. I like the way people these days kujita kamkutano.
Call yourself for a committee.
Yeah, I think it's important for somebody to really reflect. You know, first of all, don't panic. Just sit down and do a very serious evaluation. And when you look internally, you're looking for what are your skills. I mean, what are your talents? Let's start with talents. And gifts. You know, talents and gifts are go together. So you have a gift. You have a gift. And talents are really like what you're born with, part of your DNA. You're talented in numbers, in mathematics or in science. You have a quick brain. You have a good IQ. You're quick with numbers. You're a smart guy, right? And intelligence and IQ varies. Actually, that's one of the most frightening reality. That there are some people who are brighter than others. That there's nothing you can do about that. So it's a very frightening discrimination.
It's just the truth.
That's the truth. There are people who are very good, sharp, very high IQ, and there are people who are average, and there are people who are on the lower bottom. By the way, I'm meant to understand, talking about that, that the US military, for example, are not able to hire people with lower than 83 IQ at 83 and below. Because even if they hired them, even if they put them in the store, you know, just to organize the store, the military store, they are not organized enough. You know, their IQ capacity. So there are some people who really at the bottom, you know, and in almost most societies it's like about 10%. So those people are seriously disadvantaged on the scale of intelligence, IQ, and with that, these are very important contributors to success in life. By the way, IQ, intelligence, contributes about 25% explain. It has a power to explain 25% of how people succeed. So the 75% can be explained by other circumstances and factors.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about, internal analysis. So one needs to know to look at and appreciate,
Yes.
your skills and talents. So if somebody is really talented and really clearly they have demonstrated that they have a high school qualification, they have a degree,
Yes.
already you're no longer in the bottom. You're a very smart person.
Yes.
So that person already has so much advantage. So that self-evaluation is important, because what happens is that you may be wallowing in trouble
Yes.
and blaming society and blaming everybody else, while actually you have gifts and talents in your hands. So one has to have that very serious appreciation. I am gifted, I have talent, I have a high school certificate or maybe a degree, and even if you're jobless at this point in time,
Yes.
that's a good place to start. You can say you're not starting from zero.
I want to interject you slightly
Yes.
and just ask you, because you've just mentioned about talent.
Yes.
One of the authorities in leadership, Mr. John Maxwell,
Yeah.
says that talent is not enough.
Yes.
Don't you think also, as you are also, we're also encouraging people who are talented,
Yeah.
there's a lot that goes with talent, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'm coming to that actually, and that's why I was saying, there are several you need to do analysis at several fronts.
Okay.
So one of them is self-analysis.
Internal.
So appreciate your skills, your talents.
Okay.
Skills, we'll talk about skills later. Talents and gifts. You know,
Yes.
your internal capacity.
Yes.
So that needs to be very clear. And you need to measure yourself very soberly.
Yes.
So that then you don't diminish yourself and think that you're not up to anything,
Yes.
while you actually have the
Yes.
skills and the talents, and they are there, they are latent. But as you say, talent is not enough.
Yes.
So it's not enough. So once you do that analysis, then the next thing is you need to have an analysis of the environment.
Yes.
The environment where you're living in. What are the opportunities within my environment?
Yes.
And I'm sure when you're
Let me speak to
Yes.
this, because I'm very happy
I know you're
when Pastor
passionate about
Gigi
that. Yes.
is talking about self-evaluation.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, they say people who often conduct self-evaluation on themselves, you
Yes.
know, and rightfully so that you do not put ticks where you're not supposed to put the ticks.
Yes.
Yes.
Because it's not a matter of putting the tick in the box.
Yes.
It's doing a proper self-evaluation. Those people actually succeed more than the people who do not do that.
Yes.
The people who do not go back and look at themselves.
Yes.
Pastor Gigi, I think this is the simplest way that companies do their stuff. They say, do a SWOT analysis.
Yes.
What are your strengths? What are the opportunities, the weaknesses, you know?
Yes.
You know, if we look at the proper and the threats.
Yes.
So you as a person, you also need to look at that
Yeah.
inwardly.
Yeah.
Conduct a SWOT analysis of yourself and say, this is me.
I-
This
I-
is
actually-
where I am.
I
Yeah.
agree with you, Anthony, because that SWOT analysis, strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Yes.
You know, most people will not accept, will not admit their weaknesses.
Sure.
And that's a major indictment.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, the minute you accept, I am not good in this thing,
Yes.
that's the beginning of your liberation.
Good.
Yes.
By knowing what you're not good at,
Yes.
is a very good place to start.
Yes.
Because at least you don't have to put in your energy
Yes.
there.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
You
Yes.
don't waste your money. You don't invest in IT,
Yes.
and you have no skills in IT.
Yes.
Exactly.
You are not gifted there.
Yes.
That one is not. If you are a driver,
Yes.
you focus on driving.
Yes.
That's
If you are an artist
Yes.
or an actor,
Yes. But there's some people, Pastor Gigi, who are listening, they may say that other people are multi-talented.
Uh-huh.
They can occupy different faculties, you know.
Yes.
What
Yes.
would you like to talk to them and say?
no, yeah, I know. Some of those people are probably sitting here.
Yes.
Multi-talented.
Yes.
Yes.
In fact, those people have even a greater dilemma,
Yes.
because their dilemma is, how do I make the choices?
Well,
Yes.
Good.
I can do this, I can do this, I
Yes.
can do this.
Yes.
And there are people who actually they get stuck.
Yes.
So they have opened so many fronts.
Yes.
They have a business here.
Yes.
They are also singing some songs.
Yes.
They are also
In the farm.
they are farming.
Yes.
They are in politics.
Yes.
Also, you know, and everywhere you go,
Yes.
people you seem to
You
thrive.
basically cause confusion within yourself. You're not quite sure what direction to
Yeah.
take.
So being multi-talented,
Yes.
it's a good thing, but it can also be a negative thing.
Let me become a bit scientific. Jim, I know he's a scientist here.
Yes.
You need to put weights. If you're multi-talented,
Yes.
please provide the weightage.
Yes.
You know, in
Yes.
terms of the areas. You know,
Yes.
you have a business there, you have a job there, and you're doing farming. Why don't you put some weightage so that you say, by the way, when I look at myself to add up to 100, 80% goes to the business.
Yes.
But these other things are actually just 10-10. So that you measure your strength. And that is why you're defining them as the strengths. And then you go back and look at, even in this area where I have the strength, what is it that is likely to happen? What are the threats? But let me come to what you said. That's me.
Yeah.
But then we also look at the environment, the opportunities. What opportunities are surrounding you? You know, this is very critical because you may be talented, yet where you are, the opportunities are not there.
Yes.
But like you said, you'd rather be prepared.
Yeah, you'd rather be
because
prepared.
it will actually hit at the right time, it will come. But meanwhile, you need to provide so that we don't lose the point.
Yes.
Meanwhile,
So if you have to provide in an environment which the more you look,
Yes.
the less opportunities you
Yes,
find.
yes.
So it gets very tough, and this is where now you have to make some compromises,
Good.
and you have to make some very, very strategic choices and sacrifices. And I want to emphasize the bit of sacrifice, and it's tied to this talented person.
Yes.
Yes.
So you are very well talented. You could go into almost any direction.
Yes.
And especially where the opportunities are constrained,
Yes.
the best way is to specialize, to make very hard choices and decide I'm going to focus on this. It may not be the coolest business.
Yes.
It may not be the most attractive business, but I'm committing to this and letting go of this other one and trusting God.
I like the word focus.
Yes.
Yes.
I like the word stopping.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you
Because-
focus
yes.
and you stop.
Yes.
The
Yes.
others, eh?
And I think the power of stopping, I think is very important. Yeah, you've just mentioned a very key area. Trying to specify, trying to be identifying yourself with one thing primarily that will drive your income, isn't it?
Yes.
And since we are talking about man as a provider,
Yeah.
it's good to be known for one thing. Don't be known for everything.
Absolutely.
You are a plumber, you are an electrician, you are a whatever, you know.
Yes.
You are a farmer. Try to to focus your energies, at least
Yes.
a majority of your energies, towards something that you are very good at, isn't it?
Yes.
Because as you said in the SWOT analysis,
Yeah.
there is something that has also some strength.
Yes.
You should capitalize on that.
Yes.
And probably get help where you're feeling you're weak.
That's
For
true.
example, if you're weak in management,
Yes.
and you're doing an enterprise, bring somebody on board
Yes.
who can steer the management, isn't it? Thank you. Anthony, please proceed.
Yes, I wanted, before we proceed so much, to say, man, even as this situation is as it is right now,
Yeah.
there's still opportunity when you look inwardly that
Yeah.
you can actually see, I can do something.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other day I was discussing with Jim, and I was saying, when you look inwardly and you identify your strength very well,
Yes.
you might find it's something that you have and
Yeah.
people are willing to pay.
Yes.
You do not require money.
Yes.
Just to put it
Exactly.
very
Yes.
clearly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's you.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Jim can go address a meeting, a gathering, tell them about money market,
Yes.
and they'll be willing to pay. In fact, I know he's already doing it. So,
Yeah.
Yes.
so you talk with someone, they actually will, because you've looked inwardly. Other places you may just basically say, you want to go as a volunteer, and you say, I want to help.
Yeah.
Because it is what you have, what you said, talent.
That's
You are-
true.
It's inborn, it's in you. So as you go and give, people also reciprocate very
Yes,
easily.
they'll
The other
value
line
it.
is to look at it in terms of the business. What is it that is around your area and it's actually required out there? Or what is it that is out there and it is required in where you are?
Yes.
So you can actually connect those two. We
Yeah.
call them pipeline nowadays
Yes.
of the distribution.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you connect the pipe from there to here,
Yes.
it will actually flow
Yes.
with what is required here.
That's
and if
true.
you connect the pipe from here to the other side,
Yes.
it will take to that other direction. And in that process,
Yeah.
you have what actually you're gaining.
That's true.
The other thing that I wanted to hit is for those of us who have decided to go to the farms.
Yes.
You know, because there are quite a number of people who migrated. I mean, we all need to know that there was an exodus.
Yes.
Urban to rural migration
Urban to rural
because of
migration.
COVID.
Yeah. I think now it's become very, very clear that farming
Yes.
is going to be the next biggest thing in this part of the world. I think agro enterprises and all that, you know, is a huge opportunity. Because when you think about the fact that, you know, first of all, right now, Africa and Kenya in particular, we still are very rural. We have very, very large numbers. I think the last time I checked, it was 70%. 70% of Kenyans, maybe the numbers are declining, are still living in the rural, semi-urban, part of this
if
nation.
you use real numbers, actually taking the two big cities, the population in Nairobi is usually 4 million,
Yes.
a high of 5 million during the day, and at night they go back home.
Yes.
Yes.
And Mombasa is actually 3. Out of 50 million,
Yes.
you basically can add in the other cities.
Yeah.
You basically be talking of about 10 to 15. So you're very correct.
Yeah, 10
Spot
to
on.
15 million
Yeah.
Kenyans are
Huge
probably in
population
some
is
in an urban setting. So the other
35, 40.
35
or
or so million are in the rural area. So as those populations begin to migrate to the urban setting, what will happen is that now the demand for food,
Increases.
because you can't farm here,
Yes.
in the city,
Yes.
the demand for specialized farming,
Yes.
specialized food production
Yes.
is going to go up.
Yes.
And so there will be this niche people who will become very, very efficient farmers. And we could say, I saw a tweet yesterday, some farmer in South Africa, a very, very, very large scale farmer. Apparently they had to pour out their milk. 28,000 liters of milk had to be poured out because of the riot that's going on in South Africa at this point we are recording.
Yes.
And so you can imagine a farmer who is producing 28,000 liters of milk.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's leverage.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is possible because in South Africa, a lot of people live in the city.
Yes.
So those who in the farm have to produce so much,
So much.
to provide. So there are huge opportunities in agribusiness.
Yes.
Of course, there are opportunities in the new information age.
Yes.
The minute you mention that, everybody
Yes.
knows.
Yes.
Whether you're talking about IT, information, social media.
Yes.
There are very many technology. The technologies behind the social media
Yes.
and the infrastructure, information communication technology, huge opportunities. The other area where there is huge opportunity is in the area of training, education. I mean, that you can't take away.
Yes.
As long as Kenyans, there are young people growing up, they will need education.
Yeah.
So that's an area where the opportunities is not going to disappear. So I think because we're talking about this man who
Yes.
is stuck
Yes.
at this point in time,
Yes.
with a good analysis and a real, and then you can bring in someone else, other people. You can get into a forum
Yes.
where you really deliberately scan the environment.
Yes.
When we talk about strategy formulation, I happen to be an expert in
Yes.
strategic
Yes.
management, because that's my area of study.
Yes.
There's the whole idea of formulating strategy. The starting point is analysis, a good analysis.
Yes.
An environmental analysis and an internal analysis, the SWOT and then the environment. So the more you understand what's going on,
Yes.
even in Nairobi itself, there are so many little opportunities, but it's for those who have their eyes open, those who are looking, and they are deliberate about it.
And I think, Pastor Gigi, as you've mentioned that, about one of the things happening around us.
Yeah.
There was a one-time hit of opportunities when pandemic came.
Yes.
Some people made a lot of money
Yes.
because of the crisis.
Absolutely.
And people should also be on the lookout for everything that is happening around them.
Yeah.
The people who sold masks,
Yeah.
sanitizers, name them, they were in a very prime place.
Yes.
And they made a lot of money, isn't it?
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
think also it's also good to encourage people to be on the lookout.
And there are also there are cycles.
Yes.
There are cycles. Some are big cycles.
Yes.
Others are smaller cycles.
Yes, yes.
Opportunities come and go.
Yes, yes.
So there's no question of if you see like there are no opportunities.
Yes.
It's because maybe the cycle is low.
Yes.
Where you are living.
Yes.
Again, where you are, your location, and the cycle.
Yes.
So if you seem like there's no opportunity, I like what Jim you said, you have to be prepared.
Yes.
Because those opportunities keep shifting.
Yes.
Vigilant. Opportunities keep shifting.
Yes.
So today, for example, look at the matatu industry.
Yes.
During this crisis of COVID, and matatus now had to cut the numbers
Yes.
and all that. So
Yes.
those who survived,
Yes.
survived because they had these vehicles. They were maybe not paying loans. Some of them had to really negotiate with the banks
Yes.
to keep their vehicles.
Yes.
Otherwise, they were going to be taken away. A lot of vehicles were repossessed actually.
Oh, yeah.
But those who survived I saw one guy. There was one matatu on in our route where I live.
Yes.
The first guy to change the seating configuration.
Yes.
I was like, why can't people see this?
Yes.
You know, this is straightforward. This guy,
Resistant to change.
the system says you leave one seat.
Yes.
And we are just stuck with these two-seaters. So you're one guy there, one guy there.
Yes.
And now you can't put the other person next. So somebody came up with the idea of changing the configuration.
Yes.
And now it's caught on.
Yes.
So the first matatus to convert their city
Yes.
started doing at around 80% of their previous capacity. In fact, because they were charging higher, actually it's like they didn't even lose business.
There's no loss.
You
And
understand?
I think since we are almost going for a break,
Yeah.
there's something that we've just mentioned, and we'll continue handling it in the second session. However, there's something you've just said.
Yeah.
Change came.
Yes.
Others refused to accept change.
Yes.
They were fixated.
Yes.
And then you said something about scanning for opportunities. He
Yes.
saw, even if he tries to resist the change,
Yes.
change is coming.
Absolutely.
And I think Anthony would like to address that. Men are a bit fixated
Oh, yeah.
when it comes to changing their minds and aligning themselves to opportunities. What would you like to say about that?
It's really unfortunate because what you're saying is true. We always want to see like one direction.
Yes.
I think probably when you're told about focus,
Yes.
you want to remain focused even when the object you're supposed to be focusing on
Yes.
has actually moved.
Yes.
Once it is moved,
Yes.
guys, move. You know, it's called in psychology object permanency.
Yes. Yes.
So you already know that it is not there.
Yes. Yes.
Simply move. For example, we know that there was decentralization has been there for the last 10 years.
Yes.
You cannot stick in Nairobi
Yes.
if you're thinking that that's where things are.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we have power in the rural areas.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Everywhere.
Yes.
Now think about it. It's actually causing some urbanization. Right?
Yes.
There's an urbanization that is actually taking place.
Yes.
And there's a demand for services around there.
Yes.
There's demand for food.
Yes.
There's demand for, for transport, for services.
two
if
forces.
you look at it completely, there are people who are able actually to migrate quickly and be able to play there. Today, they're actually big shots within the areas where they actually
Yes,
are.
yes.
And all of us needs to know that the rate of urbanization is actually catching up.
Yes.
Actually, I want to add to what you are
Yes.
saying. There are two forces that are now playing out. The decentralization
Yes.
of the new the new government system. The counties.
Yes.
That decentralization it was a force that kind of slowed down the migration to the big cities.
Yes.
And then there were opportunities that were immediately created.
Yes.
Most of the counties, when they started setting up and employing,
Yes.
employees could not find accommodation in
Yes.
some of the towns.
Sure.
Because
Yes.
there were no
Yes.
rental houses.
Yes.
And then hotels.
University hostels.
University hostels.
Yes.
So a lot of opportunities shifted very quickly. It is those people who are paying attention, who are looking, who are opening their eyes that were able to see those opportunities.
Yes.
One of the challenge was I was made to understand office space.
Yes, it was real.
It
Yes.
was in dire. Somebody
Yes.
told me
Yes.
they had some offices. I think in some rural one of the county headquarters. They had a block. They had
Yes.
built just a block. Like that. You're not even serious, and you're thinking,
Yes.
what really would you do with a block of flat
Yes.
Some people came.
yeah, and the demand was that's it. They were taken.
Hold on that point because of time. Yeah, we want to take a short break, viewers. This is Man Unveiled. We are dissecting and unpackaging how to empower men to become man as providers. Thank you so much. Keep on watching. We're gonna take a short break.
There is no town, there is no city, there is no nation without fathers.
They went before us and set the stage of what we see in the gospel today.
It's immediately when I got saved.
Wow.
The Lord placed in my heart passion for souls.
They fought the battles and prepared the way.
They were told this miracle worker is here from Kenya. He has troubled so many churches in Kenya. Troubled. Be careful. Others said it's a false prophet, but the sick did not listen to that. They needed it.
What did they do that we are not doing?
We believed the word of God that it is true. I believe the word of God that by his stripes I was healed.
Do not fear, for you will not be ashamed.
The gospel then and the gospel now.
God says, do not be dismayed.
We didn't have the technical gospel that people have today. If you believe, bow your head, raise your hand, come forward. No. No. People just stood up and began to repent by themselves.
Wow.
Others crying on the floor, saying, save me, save me, save me.
Oh, Jesus.
Dressing the mantles.
Welcome back, viewers, to our program, Man Unveiled. Today we are discussing about man as a provider. And before the break, we had just started scratching some surface about man going outside, exploring opportunities. And I think as we continue with this conversation, I would like to hear from you guys. Are there opportunities that are outside there that have not been exploited? Is a boy child sitting back at home and wallowing with a lot of thoughts? What can he do? What is the immediate action that he can do right now?
Okay, I think I can, speak into that.
Yes.
So we were talking about the whole idea of exploring. So we said there is the internal assessment.
Yes.
Look at your skills.
Yes.
Look at
your
talents and gifts, and where you are,
yes.
and the abilities,
yes.
God-given ability.
Yes.
And then we also said then you need to do an environmental analysis.
Yes.
Check what there is in the environment. And then the other thing is the skills. But maybe before we get to the skills,
yes.
you're asking about this analysis, whether it's just enough to look around where you are,
yes.
or you should explore outside.
Yes.
I believe that the whole COVID-19 scenario, this crisis,
yes.
has produced ideas that were completely, nobody thought that actually, for example, that somebody can do a whole university course,
yes.
From the house,
yes.
and even kids in primary schools,
yes.
could actually continue with their semesters from the house.
Yes.
So a lot of models have been broken.
Yes.
So the opportunities are now more clearer. I think I don't see how people now are teaching all over the place.
Yes.
Now I know you can set up a teaching platform from the house,
yes.
and be able to roll.
Yes.
So the opportunities are even bigger.
It's amazing, and I like what Pastor Gigi is saying. The opportunities are all over.
Yes.
In fact, you're not limited to your geographical residence.
Yes.
Yes.
Where you actually live.
Yes.
What there is you can actually go out. You can travel while still remaining at the same place.
Yes.
And what is happening is you find, whether it is in the finance sector,
yes.
whether it is in the training world,
yes.
and whether even in project management.
Yes.
I've actually seen that development aid, they are giving projects while they're still there. In
yes.
Europe,
yes.
they dish out those projects. You conduct them from the mother country where you are, and you close the project, and they still pay you.
Yes.
It's amazing. Without moving a kilometer,
yes.
you can actually work and be able to satisfy.
Yes.
And we're living in the digital era. And you know that most of these people who are unemployed, they are our youngsters.
Mm-hmm.
They age between 35 and below.
Mm-hmm.
Cleared university the last 5 years or so.
Yes.
They can actually do this thing. If the same gadget that they're actually using, to do their own social activities, can actually be used to generate income.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Very amazing.
And I think the digital space has now come alive.
Yes.
There's a lot of digital mobilization happening right now, even from our government.
Right.
Our government has an initiative in Nigeria, Kenya, trying to equip young people, men and women, to utilize the digital space. And I think once you talk about opportunities around, you are aware that most of the industries around have always depended on man delivering services to one another, isn't it?
Yes.
And I think one of the industries that has very booming business, and I've been studying most of the rich men in Africa, especially in Africa, they are some of the in the oil industry, the construction industry, and I've seen the cement industry. I've seen there's a model that is coming up of taking material, building materials to the locals at the ground. There are so many models that people can utilize today, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think we can encourage people. You can become an agent of a distributorship of something near where you are, because you just need to connect. There's a digital connection that now somebody can deliver products to you. And I think, Anthony, you are good in, you've been in that field.
What you're saying is one needs to partake in the last mile distribution.
Yes.
Because you still have the company as the main producer.
Yes.
You have the distributors.
Yes.
Then you have a place local where
Yes.
people actually come and collect.
Yes.
So if you want to partake in that pipeline, it's
Yes.
very easy.
Yes.
You either have got a small facility
Yes.
or the goods will come directly to you.
Yes.
It's put on your motorbike
Yes.
and you actually deliver,
Yes.
including bicycles.
Yes.
Look at what is happening around KFC.
Yes.
You know, KFC has actually employed quite a number of young men. And
Yes.
they're actually not using motorbike.
Yes.
It's bicycle.
Yes.
And the Glovo of this world.
Yes.
So there's a place for someone to play
Yes.
in the pipeline.
Yes.
In whatever it is. But going back to digital, yesterday was the certain pastor,
Yes.
relatively young, one
Yes.
of our pastors,
Yes.
saying, if you look at the YouTubers,
Yes.
some of them are earning good money.
True.
Just in the entertainment industry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because people are still going there, or even in training,
Yes.
up to 1.5 million.
Yes.
I mean, even if you started and you're earning 30,
Yes.
you're earning 50,
Yes.
you have a way of providing. Let me touch on something that is very close to my heart.
Yes.
When people go to the village, they need to know that the old model where people used to provide for their family still works.
Yes.
I mean, if you have about an acre, 2 acres piece of land, you'll be able to provide for yourself the cereals, the vegetables, and even the milk and all that.
Yes.
And you'll be able to meet most of your need because you're not paying rent.
Yeah.
That's one. Number two, the next big thing in your budget is actually food.
Yes.
You are left with something that is very minimal. And about 30% of your budget can actually be met by the produce from your farm that you now take to the urban center within your area to those who are actually employed. This
Yes.
can actually be a game changer to most of the people.
Hold on to that point. Pastor Gigi had just started telling us about why decentralization has brought business
Yes.
to the mashinani, isn't it?
Yes.
And as you have said, you can produce for your home
Yes.
and somebody else. Because a professional, when they go to a place like Moyale, for example,
Yes.
Yeah.
they will need to feed, isn't it?
Yes.
Somebody's prayers has been answered.
Yeah.
An opportunity to provide food, an opportunity to provide housing, isn't it? I want to hear Pastor Gigi just telling us about why people should start now, even if it's small.
Absolutely. Yeah. So because we are saying this man is the provider, and if someone is in a dilemma where you actually are stuck, you have a family here, and you need to get going.
Yes.
I believe to start very, very simply. I recommend that one puts together a very simple plan.
Yes.
Okay. You identify a need that is in the market. There are all these ideas like what Anthony is describing.
Yes.
And then you have a simple plan. The best place to start is to start with the simple things, because business and entrepreneurship is these are skills that you have to develop. When you're running your own business, it's not the same as when you're working for someone else.
Yes, yes.
When you're working for someone else, they do all the thinking.
Yes.
You can do the actual, just the routines.
The executions.
Yeah,
You're
the
more of a-
execution.
you're more of a doer.
Yeah, you can do the execution. So, but when you have to do it yourself, I think, especially if you've never really run a business, the best thing is start small.
Yeah.
Start small and do a simple, straightforward plan. I will buy this and I will sell it here. And then once you have a good sense of what you need to do, then start right away. And it's like the first sale is the most important sale.
Wow.
The minute, if you can make the first sale,
Yes.
Yes, you're good.
that's a very good, you need to sit down and celebrate.
Yes.
And also ask yourself, what went right?
Yes.
How is it that I was able to move this thing from here
Yes.
and here
Yes.
and got paid?
Yes.
If you can succeed, if you can connect that wire,
Yes.
Yes.
The only other disclaimer is, Anthony, I would say,
Yes.
is the Kenyans have this tendency of thinking deals.
Yeah.
So thinking deals, you know,
Yes.
we are a deals country.
Yes.
So you
Yes.
do one business,
Yes.
you got some 20K,
Yes.
you know, you met some of your basic bills, you
Yes.
know, you are so mad.
Yes.
You are in such a bad situation that
Yes.
the money is so sweet.
Yes.
So, and then people get excited and then they forget that they were actually building a business.
Yes.
So the first sale, the first sale is very critical.
Yes.
And then the lessons that now you build from that. So so if you are able to sell, if you are able to repeat the sale, that means you have something that is working.
Yes.
Now, if something goes wrong in that particular, first cycle, then you need to have a very serious reflection and ask yourself, make sure you learn the lesson. What exactly went wrong?
Yeah.
So reflect carefully, sit down and look at it. Why did I lose that money? Why didn't I make money?
Yes.
What was going wrong? If you can do that cycle with learning feedback, the feedback loop, make sure that whatever goes wrong, you feed back to the system and improve and continue improving within a few, even 1 month. 1 month is enough for somebody to start a business.
Yes.
And they have a business to talk about.
Hold on that. I think, Anthony, there's something he always talks about
Yeah.
called proof of concept
Yes.
and scaling up.
Yes.
Please tell us
That
about
is
that.
exactly what Pastor Gigi has actually said,
Yes.
not using the word.
Yes.
Yes.
That what you need when you want to start small is you need to have the proof of concept.
Yes.
Yes.
Because the concept is in your mind.
Yes.
Yes.
Now you transfer it to paper and you say, assuming it is a product or a service that you're saying you buy at X, and then you're going to price with a margin of say 20%.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then you have X, by 20% you're able to get your margin.
Yeah.
Now there, you're saying, I'll be able to observe this for a period.
Yes.
And I'll be able to do it with this one and that one. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And this is the way the money will actually come through. After you've done it for a period, we normally say for these small businesses, in about 6 months, you'll have picked very good learning. You can start within a month, but in 6 months, you can actually make an observation.
Yes.
Once you prove the concept,
Yes.
now start scaling up.
Yes.
Don't, even if the money is given unto you.
Yes.
Even Jim, you said
Yes.
2 people can be given $1 million,
Yes.
and
What?
one will actually transfer
Yes, to the other one. Wealth transfer.
So the other one you find has got 2 million.
Yes. The other one has zero.
Actually 2.5 because it's going up.
Yes.
The other one has got a negative. He's actually
He goes to
negative.
Serikari.
Yes,
Serikari's idea.
Yes.
Yes.
So once you have done that, now start scaling. There's something very tricky when you're scaling, and most of the business have actually been ruined at the step of scaling. So you may actually prove the concept and you find it works.
Yes.
It pays you 10,000.
Yes.
Then you say, therefore, if we multiply 10 times
Yes.
immediately,
Yes.
I'll be able to make 100.
100,000.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
The complexity involved is from everything that
Yes.
you're trying to do.
Yeah.
If you had space, it is 10 times. If you had power, it could go there. Yes, there's what you call the advantages of economies of scale.
Yes.
Yes.
There is that. But you need to know that certain things will actually multiply in terms of cost
Yes.
Yeah.
and in terms of people. But one thing is critical, the management.
Absolutely.
Hold on there, Anthony.
The management.
Hold on there.
Yes.
You just said about proof of concept.
Yes.
We are trying to scale up,
Yes.
but you have given a disclaimer.
Yes.
People should be very careful.
Very
And that's why I want Pastor Gigi to come in, because we had just started scratching about the skills.
Very
Absolutely.
The skills now.
Yeah.
After you've incubated the idea, you've proved it, you need to mobilize and increase your capacity.
Jim, let
in
me say
skill.
something
Yes.
before he says.
Okay.
The book of 2 Timothy,
Yes, sir.
chapter 3 and verse 27 says that the man of God, because here we are addressing the man of God, we
Yes.
need to
Yes.
come from that point, should be competent, equipped for every good work.
Yes.
So, so you need to speak and bring that into context.
Yes.
Yeah.
That should be skilled, should be competent and equipped for every good work.
So
Absolutely.
skilled and competency.
Absolutely. So there are 3 main skills. There are 3 things that make a business work.
Yes.
In terms of what it takes. So there is the entrepreneurial part of the skill.
Yes.
There is the management part of the skill.
Yes.
And there is the technical
Yes.
part of skills.
Yes.
Okay, so the technician, the
Management
manager,
and
the
the
entrepreneur.
Yes.
Those 3 things.
Yes.
So unfortunately, most people who go into business, they go into business because they have the technical skills.
Okay.
So if you are a teacher, you start a kindergarten.
Yes,
a school.
automatically a school.
So you have the technical skills
Yes.
to run a school.
Yes.
Or rather, you assume so.
Yes.
So you
Yeah.
just
Yes.
because you are a teacher,
Yes.
you actually think you have the skills to,
Yes.
to run a school.
yes.
But you need management skills
Yes.
and the entrepreneurial skills.
Yes, yes.
The entrepreneurial skills is the whole essence of the ability to see opportunities and synthesize them and provide a solution, develop solutions.
Yes.
The creative side of it.
Yes.
You know, where you see things, amazing things.
Yes.
Entrepreneurs are like amazing people.
Yes.
And we all have a bit of that.
Yes.
And some are better than others.
Yes.
So the mix. So most people who go into business, they go very big on technical.
Yes.
Like 10%, you know, maybe 20% on management.
Yes.
No, on management.
Yes.
Yeah, you're correct.
And 10% on entrepreneurship.
Yes.
But the right mix should be 70% entrepreneurship. That you need to develop your entrepreneurial skills.
Yes.
And then about 20% on your management.
Yes.
You an entrepreneur who is also a manager.
Yes.
Technical skills. The reason why technical skills you don't have to have so much is
Yes.
because you can hire.
You can hire, yes.
I like
If you're looking for a fundi,
Yes,
you can hire.
Yes, you can hire.
But you can run a workshop.
Yes.
Actually, most of the people who are employed, they are basically employed because of the technical skills.
Absolutely.
And if you have the number of thousands of teachers in this country is because they have the technical skill.
Yes.
Yes.
Or the professional skill.
Yeah.
The doctors the same.
Yes.
So it's the easier one actually to use to be able to feed the nation, you know, basically.
Absolutely.
When you come to the management, the number keeps on, you know, if you're to draw a pyramid,
Yeah.
keeps on thinning.
Yes.
And when you actually get to the entrepreneurs, you know, I mean, how many real entrepreneurs are there who will be able now to cascade and be able to capture the
Absolutely. And that's why I think, that's why I really I get very unhappy. And I'll use the word unhappy. When people trivialize entrepreneurship, or rather, ability for someone to create a business.
Yes.
So, you know, recently we had one of the Kenya's top entrepreneur, he passed on, actually two of them.
Yes.
You know,
Chris
Chris Kirubi and
Merari.
Nouashad Merari.
Yes.
So these guys passed on. And you know, I saw in the social media, you know, some of these young people,
trivializing the whole thing.
Trivialize the whole thing,
Yes.
accusing Kirubi of
Yes.
being part of the dynasties
Yes,
and heaping on them all the corruption.
Yes.
But what Chris Kirubi was able to do, what he brought into that game
Yes.
was his entrepreneurial
Yes.
capacity.
Yes.
So whether he's an evil man or a good man, we can discuss that.
Yes.
You know, let his soul rest in
Yes,
peace.
yes.
So we are not here to judge.
Yes.
But it's pitiful for young people to actually think that you can build the kind of business that Kirubi had built if you really you can walk there and build it. If only you went to Central Bank and looted the money, you can build a business like that. Because you know that's the theory.
I think Pastor Gigi, you've just mentioned, because it's been trending on Twitter and wherever,
Yeah.
in the social spaces, yeah?
Yeah.
I think the young people think it's automatic to get to those positions.
Yes.
And positions of influence and
Yeah.
affluence, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, it has taken time. I think it's always, they usually say there's a story behind every story.
Absolutely.
And I think that's why I want you to address this matter of people who want instant riches.
Yes.
And that's why there's a research which has been done around
Yeah.
showing most of the young people are diverting mostly to become gamblers.
Yes.
And this trend is picking up, yeah, even in the local places. The gambling mentality.
Yes.
That you just hit it like this, they say unawekelea. Unafanya nini?
Unawekelea.
Unawekelea. And then tomorrow you are another CK.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the whole thing of the deal-making mentality.
Yes, deal-making, yes.
Deal-making mentality that is so pervasive in our society.
Yes.
And we actually think even, and we see it with our politicians, of
Yes.
course. We see it with some of the big guys. We actually think that's the standard.
Yes.
It's not like that.
Yes.
Wealth is built slowly.
Yes.
Wealth tends to accumulate.
Yes.
So
I want you to repeat that again for our viewers.
wealth
Look at
is
that camera.
built slowly. Wealth tends to accumulate.
Yes.
If you, and you know, even networks,
Yes.
you know, by the time you're like, when you're 60 years old, you know a few people.
Yes.
You know a few people.
Exactly.
You can make a call
Yes.
and a few things happen.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
But you can't do that when you're 20.
You
No,
can't.
you can't.
Why, what's the problem? The problem is nothing. There's nothing wrong with you when you're 20.
Yes.
You don't have the network.
Sure. Can I paraphrase and just say the same thing?
Yeah.
One is time must pass.
Absolutely.
You will never make it in this life
Yeah.
like this. Time must pass.
Yes.
That's one. Then what you say, we say world has got a multiply effect.
Yes.
You know, whatever you start building today, if you continue the same way, you know, like a mudboard, it has a
So
multiply effect.
I'll illustrate for our viewers. Huh?
Yes.
So if you say this is the graph for wealth,
Yes.
the graph, this is amount and
Yes.
this is time.
Yes.
Now, most people think that wealth grows in a straight line.
Yes.
Like that.
No.
No, wealth grows is exponential. It grows this way. For very many years, you're making very little. You're accumulating very little.
Yes.
And then it gets to a point where it all of a sudden accumulates
Yes.
and it accelerates.
Yes.
The acceleration point.
Yes.
So really, what a lot of the hard work is working slowly, accumulating little by little,
Yes.
saving up in the circles like you're saying, you know, buying your first 80 by 40,
Yes.
you know, through thick and thin,
Yes. Yes.
sacrificing so much.
Yes.
And then at the point where now you have enough income to start constructing,
Yes.
you know, a small unit there.
Yes. Yes.
And then now you complete your first flat and everything shoots. I know a friend of mine who has 8 flats in Nairobi. And he started by buying the plots.
Exactly.
So you can start small.
You can start
Incremental till get there.
Yeah, so the curve is this way.
Yes.
And so that's why you have to have a lot of respect when you see somebody who can, you know, you ask them for $1 million and they just wire into your account.
Yes.
No, not everybody can play that game.
Yes.
Time
Wow.
must pass.
Yes.
We all must understand that.
Yes.
That as you start, as you prove your concept, as you think about scaling, please appreciate the time must pass. I told someone, if you desire to become a president of this country, young man, you must allow time to pass.
Even politics.
One, because, I mean, if time does not tick,
Yes.
I mean, President Uhuru continues sitting on the seat.
And even
And therefore,
political
for you
influence.
to occupy
Yes.
that space,
Yeah.
time must move.
And you could say even political influence.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
follows the same curve.
Yes.
A lot of things that have to do with creative, productive skill,
Yes.
individual productivity,
Impactful.
follows that natural, that curve. So at some point, your influence multiplies.
Sure.
And I think, let me just interject and say this. As you grow in life, and I think this is very important for our viewers, when you are young, maximize to learn from other people.
Absolutely.
Because they have done a majority of that work, yeah?
Sure.
Learn as much as you can. And I think I want to hear Pastor Gigi commenting about those people who are also in formal engagements of employment, learn to the maximum. Because those people who are the CEOs of those companies, the owners of those companies started from somewhere.
Yeah.
And if you want to replicate it in the future, you must learn. It's a process. It's a process to learn, to become.
Absolutely. In fact, I would say, I think I would encourage people when they are young to work for small companies.
Good.
If you can find a small company to work for, you know, 20, 10 people enterprise,
Start there.
where you are actually in touch with the CEO,
Yes.
the owner.
Yes.
You know, it's somebody who you can eat lunch with.
Yes.
You know, when you work for the big corporation, everybody wants to work for Safaricom.
Yes.
They want to work for the big
Coca-Cola.
guy,
Yes.
Coca-Cola and
Yes.
all that.
Yes.
No, look, you go to Coca-Cola, you're thrown in a small box, in
Yes.
a big place.
Yes.
You,
Pushing papers.
You know, pushing papers
Yes.
and your boss harassing you.
Yes.
And, you
And
know,
meeting deadlines.
Yeah, meeting deadline. After 10 years, you know, you just have salary.
Yes.
And maybe a few plots here and there and,
Yes.
and a Subaru.
Yes.
But when
Please.
you work for a small business
Yes.
with a boss, so if you find a good person to work under, serve that person and observe, learn, so that then later on you can say, this is what I learned from this. This guy was my employer.
Yes.
But I took more than a salary. I learned how business operates.
Yes.
So when you are young,
Yes.
that's the way, that's the attitude.
Yes.
Even if you're working for a large corporation,
Yes.
if you're working
That
for a
should
bank,
be,
Yes.
you observe how the branch is operating.
I actually wanted to put that disclaimer so that even if you're working for the big,
Yes.
be ready to learn.
You have to learn.
Be ready,
Yes.
learn. And if you are part of the 10% with very high IQ rise up to the management so that you become the influencer of the others who are actually be running out.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that becomes very valuable. So at the end of the day, the more you learn, the skills build. So building up on your skills, understanding how business works, understand, and you have to pay attention to how even the organization, the corporation, the branch where you're working, the division where you are in, how does this work? What exactly does it take to function? If you're a leader, develop your leadership skills, because you will need them when...
I have one question for Pastor Gigi.
Okay.
And it's a simple question. We talked about you need to put a business plan.
Yeah.
And maybe you could actually touch a little bit the component in the business plan. For those they've already started, they've proved the concept, they're in a place where they would actually even like to go to a financier and be able to obtain some money. So what are some of the components that they should actually put into the business plan?
Yeah, so of course if a business plan is like a CV, there's never one size fits all. I mean, you discover that when you look for a job. You have to keep adjusting your CV depending on which job you are pitching. So in the same way with a business plan, you have to keep adjusting it depending on what you are pitching for. So if you're pitching for financing, financiers want to look at your business plan, see so your vision, mission, they will just pass through that very quickly. But the place they will look at is what your goals are, and then the organization structure, and even how you are going to the business model. So you need to describe that. Your customers.
Your customers.
What is the source of your business? So the customer, then the process, how you're going to engage the customers. There's a framework which maybe we may not have time now to discuss.
At a later time.
At a later time we can discuss a simple framework. But there is a customer, so you need to have a very clear view of who your customer is. In fact, most people who want to finance you, they'll look at who exactly is your customer is. And then what value are you adding? So your statement of value, value proposition, this is how we are changing, we are adding value. Let's say you are running a small delivery business. We deliver value through logistics. We pick and deliver, mail delivery, value, the value you're adding. Make sure that is very well articulated. Then the other critical component is your skills, you as the owner, the ownership, the structure. Who is this? Who are these people?
Because of interest of time,
I think what I would like to say, because I believe that it's actually wide. We will have a day to actually look at the flow of a proper business plan and how that will be able to communicate from the beginning all the way to the end. For those entrepreneurs
so maybe I could just finish up by saying, so it's the customers, the value you are adding, the yourself, the ownership, who is actually the proponent of this business, and then a small financial projection. Simple.
Viewers, this discussion can keep on going for a long time, and we are very glad that we've had a lot of wisdom from our guest here, Pastor Gigi. I think because of interest of time, I would like to wind up. Though this will continue, we'll plan and have another session and continue with this discussion. Anthony, kindly give us your parting shot and what the viewers would like them to hear.
Thank you so much. I think this was a man as a provider. That is what we are discussing, and we want men to know that it doesn't matter what comes your way. At times you find it easy, at times it's very difficult. Whether local or abroad, whether in employment or in business, whether you're doing it at your farm or you're supporting other people to do, man must be able to provide for his family and the community around him.
Great. Pastor Gigi?
I think I would like to say there is always an opportunity out there. If you pay attention, look closely, and match your skills, your talents and gifting with the opportunities that are out there, you can always pull yourself out of a very tight spot. So there is hope for us. Let's just pay attention and keep looking, and don't just sit there. There is hope for you.
Wow, great. Thank you so much, guys. This was Man Unveiled. What a great, impactful program. I hope that you'll connect, share, bring on your friends and your relatives to hear about this, because we want men to be empowered. Because this time around, we want to build the boy child. so that they become impactful and resourceful and helpful to their community. It has been great listening to you guys, and I think my parting shot is that start now. Start now, however small it is, be bold, and pay attention. God bless you. It is Man Unveiled, where in Elevate TV, where we are advancing kingdom lifestyle. God bless you. See you the next program.